Welcome back to another Let's Talk. Tonight I thought I would do a little Q&A. And this is a premiere, so if you're here for the actual premiere, I'll be live in the chat. So if you have any questions that I haven't answered in the video, or like just randomly during the video, you can ask me questions. This is what tonight's video is about. So if you have any questions, answer them in the chat and I can answer them live. But I have a list of questions that I've been asked recently from family and friends, and just from, I think, my parent group sent in, and like some questions I've been asked on my social medias like Facebook and Instagram and all that. So I thought I would just answer a few of them. And I don't know, if you have any further questions, you can ask them. So I'll start with some of the questions. One question I've been asked more than once is, why are we still self-quarantine? Well, right now in Ontario, we are currently on lockdown, but we've been on and off lockdown, I think, like 3 times. But I have been self-quarantined since March of 2020, when it first, when coronavirus first became a thing here in Ontario. I know the outbreak started way before that, but for us, like our first lockdown, our first awareness of the coronavirus was like in March, the beginning of March of 2020. So I've been self-quarantined from that first announcement, and I'm still self-quarantined, and I plan on self-quarantine until both my kids are vaccinated. I know things will get better and like slowly open up again, and we will venture out more than we have been, but we're gonna do it in like baby steps. The reason why is because I feel like my kids are high needs, and I feel like if I got sick, I wouldn't be able to care for them. And if I have coronavirus, I feel like other people wouldn't, you know, we'd be quarantined, like we'd have to self-isolate if any of us caught it. And so I wouldn't have any help. Like I have Rodney, but honestly, I am very blessed to have him because even though they have improved a lot, they are still a lot. So a lot of days it takes both of us to fulfill their needs for the day. And it can be a lot sometimes. I just want to be open and honest on my reasons is that I feel like I can't get sick. Which is my main reason for continuing to be extremely careful. The people that I have contact with are very, very, very minimal. Like I have had some contact with my two sisters. One of them, like both of them, not really much. Mostly, you know, just at the door or something. Not really like visiting. You know, just like quick visits, you know, not stay long or anything. And yeah, so we've been very careful on like, yeah, who we interact with. Like we have like extremely short visits with my great aunt, but like again, it's just like at the door and we keep our distance. She wears her mask because she often comes to our door. So like yeah, like we keep our distance apart and she wears her mask and it's like literally 5 minutes, so we've been very, very, very careful with that. And like for groceries, we do all the online groceries, so we like order our food online and then Rodney just does a curbside pickup for us. He's the one that does it all the time because he's the one that drives. I don't drive, so so he's pretty much the only one that has constant contact with the outside world, pretty much. We do all of our appointments online. Like I've done both my kids' IPRC meetings and IEP meetings virtually. I keep in contact with the workers through email, and Cameron's doctor calls through video chat as well. So he's still currently seeing his doctor, but through video chats. So we've really been very careful, and yeah, like there's no judgment against other people going out. Like I would love to go out. Like I'm really tired about being stuck at home, but at the same time I know I have a lot of anxiety what would happen if I was to get sick. So even without the coronavirus, I'm generally careful not to get sick. Like and I'm usually pretty good at not getting sick. It's just, it's always a worry or concern of mine to like get sick and then not be able to, yeah, keep up with everything. So that's that question. The other question I've been asked is, how are my kids at home? You know, I've recently had someone tell me that the kids are better off at school than at home. And because they need to socialize. Like I said in other videos, I feel like my kids are more socialized at home. They have met lots of friends online, not so much Sarah, which I will answer that in the next question. But for Cameron, he's been extremely socialized. He's built a relationship with his father that he hadn't had for a while. Like there's no visits or anything, but he will play video games online with his father and do video chats with him now. So like for him, the social aspect for him being at home has improved for him. Like I said, we've been self-quarantined for over a year. So the biggest problem they both have is that they really, really miss family. We used to like always like go visit either my mom or somebody, or like go and do something with like my great aunt, or visit my nanny, or like, yeah. So the biggest issue they have is not so much anything they're missing from school, but what they're missing from family. So for the school part, I think they're doing really well. For the family part, they're really, really missing family. So that's the hardest part. Yeah. So hopefully we will be able to visit people a little bit more after this lockdown is done. Hopefully it'll be done soon, but you know. The next question is, well, my kids go back to school in September. In Ontario, the kids are allowed to continue to do remote learning next year, and I've really thought about it. And I think for Sarah, like not only because she's been going back into a high school, but she's having a harder time socializing. Like she's not as sociable as Cameron is with meeting other people online and stuff like that. So I feel like even though she seems fine, I think she's really lacking in that social department area. And I just feel like she's missing out on the discussions. I'm just really worried about if they continue have to wear, like if they still have to wear masks in September is a bit of my concern. Just because she really relies on watching people's lips to talk. So I think, I don't know, her teachers may have to wear like a clear mask. I'm not sure, but she will have an FM system, so maybe the mask won't be a problem if they are still wearing masks in September. Like I don't know, but I think 80%. I'm like 80% sure she'll probably be going back to school in September. I just feel like she needs it. Even though in some areas academically she has improved at home. It's just all the other aspects of her like social skills and just having trouble making friends and stuff. I'm hoping she's really good at art, so the school I want her to go to next year, which is another whole issue. I want her to go to the same school as Cameron because they have an amazing art program that I think she would like really benefit from, and I think they have like a really, really good art club that I think if she joined the art club that she could have a sense of friends in the club and like a sense of belonging and something that would be just for her. So I think that would benefit her in a lot of ways. Like it's just more than just the academics aspects. I feel like their mental health is more important than anything else. That's how I feel. So like that is my reasoning why I think she needs to go back to public school in September. However, Cameron is really thriving at home. He's thriving more now than he's ever been in the whole entire school system. So, like, I feel like him getting out of the house and being with face to face with his friends would benefit him. But yet he's gained so many gains that it's really, really, really hard. So I'm not sure if he'll return back in September right now. You know, like there are a few positives, like I said, for him going back to school. Just like the social part of being with other people in general and just, you know, leaving the house aspect of it. But to think about academically, his academics have improved drastically, I find, this year compared to where he was before. So it's really, really, really tough decision. another thing that I thought of, I don't know if this is even going to be possible for next year, if he did 2 classes that were like the 2 classes that he would be strong at, like cooking. He's really good at cooking, and he's really good in computers. So I was thinking if he would be allowed to take like computer classes and cooking classes at his current school and his current program, and then do the other 2 classes at home. It might benefit him, but again, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure on that. Like, I don't know what would be best, you know? Like, he is socializing at home, and if things open up more, he can do other social opportunities at home. Like, he'll be able to go, like, shopping more, and, like, so I've always been involved with Special Olympics, so if I can bring back Special Olympics again, he would have that, and he would have that sense of community that would be after school, not in school. So I feel like I could still provide that without being in school, if things are better in September, which I'm hoping, really hoping at least more people will be vaccinated. So I know Rodney is getting his vaccine soon, and because I've been trying to get mine, but I think it's still for people over 40. I only just turned 39, so well, I will be 39 next week. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. Yeah. So there's that question. And another question I had was if I feel like Cameron can get married and have relationships and live alone when he's older. Again, to remind everybody, Cameron was originally diagnosed as nonverbal autism. So from the time he was born until now, he's gone through lots of major changes. Like, lots. He went from barely saying any words to saying small sentences to now saying like full-blown sentences. And because of that time period was so long of him being not fully able to communicate, he was placed in special needs classes, which mentally did benefit him. But because of those classes, he's not academically where he should be. So it's like baby steps. Like, I really think he can have relationships. Like, I don't doubt that he can't have a girlfriend or a wife someday, or live on his own. It's just he's not there now. Like, I remember when I was talking to his psychiatrist a long time ago, and we were talking about what would happen to Cameron in the future, because I was worried. Like, I told his psychiatrist my main focus with Cameron was communication. I didn't care if he could count or write or read. I wanted him to be able to communicate his needs and wants. That was my always strongest need I felt that he needed. I felt like people need to understand him, because when people didn't understand him is when he got the behaviors, when he got everything else. And we talked about that, and his psychiatrist kind of was trying to convince me that even though he needs to communicate his needs, he needs to know these other things. And like, it's not that I didn't agree, it's just he needed more time to express his needs. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is his doctor said right now there's a huge difference between a 5-year-old and a 12-year-old because how they develop. But he said there's no difference between a 25-year-old and a 35-year-old. They appear very similar. So this is why I'm answering this question this way, because even though he's not there yet, when he is 35, I feel like he will be able to do things 25-year-olds will do, and it won't be very noticeable. So, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So I think it will be, but farther in the future than right now. Same as living alone. Like, I think it is possible, but like right now, you know, there's a difference between a 12-year-old and a 16-year-old, right? So right now, no, but in the future, I do see it happening. Just later on, then, you know. What is school like for Cameron? That is, like, that's that goes back to the same answer I had before about whether or not I'm going to send Cameron back to school next year. Because school is good for him, you know, it's good teaching him social skills and all that. But because of that large gap in his life where he was in really special need classes, because of his lack of communication, his lack of expressing himself, like he always had the same face. You can tell if he was happy, sad, mad, angry. People always guessed for him. Like that sort of thing kind of made him go backwards. So now that he is able to fully communicate and say what he knows and what he doesn't know, and his comprehension skills and everything have gone up so much. The problem with school is that they have special needs programs, they have regular programs, and like advanced programs, you know? And right now, I think he could benefit from a regular program completely. But the problem is, in September, the regular program would be grade 12. But in the special needs program he's in, they only learn up to grade 5. So you can't go from grade 5 to grade 12 without doing the middle part, you know, it's just not going to work. So I think that's like the biggest problem, is that sometimes kids do really need these special needs programs, and they're great and they're wonderful, but like there's no plan if the program benefit them so much that they outgrow it. There's no happy medium in between. Like I feel like he could probably now do a grade 7 class, but you know, he's 6'3". They're not going to put him with the little grade 7 kids, right? And it's like that's where he would fit right now, but there's no place to fit him into. So I think for Cameron, that's like the biggest problem. Even when he was in special needs classes, like I said, he couldn't really express himself clearly. So, and you know, he's ODD. And if you have a child who is ODD, you know, they are extremely good at manipulating you. You just have to recognize the manipulation and know the difference between manipulation and they really can't do it in that moment because they look extremely similar. So sometimes you get it wrong, sometimes you get it right. It's all about learning your child. So the school was not really good at recognizing when he was being manipulative and when he was really stuck and really struggling and not being able to do something. I think I mentioned before, he'd go through, like, he has these little episodes. I strongly believe they're seizures, but I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't have any proof of this. I believe that's what they are, but I don't know for sure. He goes through these episodes where he knows how to do something. Like, he can open the door, go outside, close the door, open the door. Like, he can do that like 10 times. Open and close the door. Like, he can go in and out of the house like 10 times. Then he'll go and open the door, and he'll stop and completely cannot remember how to open the door. It's not like he's manipulating you to come and open the door for him. He physically can't open the door, even though he just did it 10 times. He just gets in that where he can't. So at school, they had trouble realizing when these little episodes are happening, when he physically couldn't do it because he just did it 10 times, so why can't he do it now? Oh, he must be just lazy, he must be tired, he must be sick. they couldn't understand these episodes, and working with Special Olympics and like Autism Ontario and stuff, I've noticed that in kids a lot, that they have these little episodes, and like they're hard to explain and they're hard to know the difference. They really are. Like, I don't know. So for Cameron, that was his problem. They couldn't figure it out. So Cameron would take advantage of that and just allow them to do everything for him. Which sometimes he was okay with it, sometimes he wasn't okay with it, but he didn't know how to express when he wasn't okay with it and when he appreciated it, kind of thing. So he just let it happen. So sometimes, even though they were doing it for him, it would still make him upset. And he was really good at masking his emotions at school and being explosive at home, because of masking all day. And sometimes he would just tell the teachers, like not tell the teacher. He wouldn't say like what physically was wrong, but with outbursts and yeah, the kids don't understand. Yell at the teachers, just start swearing, banging, causing chaos, just because they didn't know. So that's the problem with Cameron, is that to understand him, you really, really, really need to know him. And I know that's hard for only 6 hours a day. And, they switch out teachers, they switch out EAs, so it's hard for any one person to really get to know him. So that's where he struggles with at school. But besides that, like I said before, I think the special needs program did really, really help with his communication skills, because that's what I wanted them to work on. That's what I wanted them to focus on. And I think that was easy for them to work on with him, with social skills, like continuously talking to him, getting him involved in conversation. And like some teachers really enjoyed having conversations with Cameron when he did become more verbal, because Cameron can really understand sarcasm. I know a lot of kids on the spectrum don't understand sarcasm, but Cameron does. He gets it. And I think he gets it because he watches a lot of that sort of thing on TV. So he gets it. So the teachers would always have fun talking with him when all the other rest of the kids didn't have a clue what they were talking about. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, so those are my questions. I hope you enjoyed my little Q&A questions, and I hope I answered all your questions in the chat. If you're watching this after the premiere, you can always message me on Instagram and I can answer your questions there, or just comment them down below in the comments. Or if you have a suggestion for another Let's Talk video, yeah, just leave a comment, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!